So he started on the bench. He came on in that first half. He had a few looks at goal, but nothing, Tim, went his way. Analyse the end, because you said to us pre-game, the game, yeah, great, can't wait, but I want to see what happens at the end. Just analyse those scenes.
I thought I saw tears. It might have been sweat. It might have been sweat. Yeah, it looks like everybody's happy. I'm surprised. I mean, I thought he played really well without getting, well, he had a few little looks, but yeah, you said a wry smile, and I wasn't expecting a wry smile from him. So
it's a turnaround, isn't it? From where we were last week, from where we were in midweek when he was left at home and he took a picture of himself by himself in the gym, to playing most of a game. How have we got to this?
I said to Ursula, actually, asked for his advice on it, because you showed at halftime him tracking back, and he was running back, he was charging around, he was doing all the things that apparently he wasn't doing before. Yeah. But I just don't see a world behind the scenes where he goes, after saying what he said and feeling that that he's been thrown under the bus, that he says, okay, Gaffer, I'm sorry, and I'm going to do everything you said. Like, I just don't see a world. So that's why I said to you, like, why then is he doing those things? Is it selfish? Is he trying to impress? Like, what's actually happening?
He doesn't want to make a mistake today. I mean, it's really difficult to read that situation unless you're in that dressing room or know what's going on. I don't think a decision's been made. I still think there's talk to be done. But what I do think today, Bex, in what we've seen, and he's come on and he played his part, could have well easily have got his goal. If they decide collectively that he is to move on, he hasn't gone through the back door. He's not played. If he hadn't played, if he hadn't got on the pitch, it's almost like he's been ushered out the club. At least he's gone through the front door. We've seen him. He played the game. He's cheered the Anfield crowd. Let's wait and see what happens, but I still will be surprised to see him in the shirt. Yeah, no, and that's what I totally agree with you. I think there's another chapter here, but and I mentioned to you, Bex, Salah won then. In this whole battle, Salah won. He chucked his toys out. He said, I'm being treated. Does he won if he leaves the football club? No. That's the grey area. If he leaves the football club, then he doesn't won. But if he's saying, I've been thrown under the bus, I've been the one to blame, and then he gets put back in today, I think he won. But yes, if he leaves, then no, he hasn't won.
Does he have another problem? I mean, he has a lot of problems, Arne Slot. Does he have another problem with Ugo Ekitike scoring goals, but Alexander Isak not? Well,
let's put the Mo Salah thing to one side and go there. I mean, Ugo Ekitike probably isn't going to get any headlines today, and he scored 2 goals. He's got 4 goals in his last 2 Premier League games and looks like their most threatening forward. Feel really sorry for this kid because he's come in for big money, he's delivered, and he's not probably had the sort of headlines that he should.
Well, if Mo Salah talks, we know he doesn't talk often, but when he does, he has something to say. So if he does, we'll bring that interview.
Let's discuss Liverpool. And Mercer, we've seen Mo Salah arriving there. He'll have known before they arrived at the stadium that he wasn't in the starting lineup once again this afternoon. So you would not expect him to arrive smiling from ear to ear. But his body language, he looked less than impressed with that decision. What did he make of it?
I didn't expect him to come off cracking jokes, do you know what I mean? No. And cuddling the mascot. But, he's going to be upset. He ain't playing. He wants to play. This has all come around from him not playing. He thought he'd be back in the team. Players are playing 3 games. What did Slot say? 4 games. Almost criminal. Yeah. Almost criminal. I mean, so you'd have thought someone else would have been rested today and he'd have played, but that's not the case. He's not going to come off laughing and joking. He'll be on the bench. It'll be interesting to see if he comes on. Look, cuddle. Could have given him a cuddle now. Look, oh my God. Has he missed his mortgage payment or something?
You don't have that.
Seriously, that is ridiculous. Now, you don't want him around the club. You don't want him around like that. You've got to have a meeting with him and going, right, Mo, you're one of the best players. All these kids look up to you. Everybody around here looks up to you. Don't walk around like that. Or don't come in. That's for me. What he said, I backed him. I backed him in what he said. I said, you got the
Wait, hold on. What's he doing? He's walking in. The camera have got him.
My God.
Is he meant to be happy and smiling and coming with a big smile on his face? Andy Robertson was good. I get that, but it's not. It's not. Mo Salah just coming in because he's not smiling and high fiving.
No, there's not high fiving and smiling.
What do you want him to do?
That's not just a normal walk. No,
that's
not a normal look.
He's still upset.
Yeah, I know, but if you're the manager, you've got to say, wait there's a lot of kids there, that look up to him. They don't want to set that example. You know, he's at that age, you know, I always say, when I played, I always went, if I played in lesser games, like, and reserves and all that, I always played, someone said to me once, go and play like it's the first time someone's watching you play football. Do you know what I mean? And look, he's like walking in there. I mean, he's got the best job in the world.
There's not a player in the country, whatever level, who's happy to not be in the
but you don't walk around with your hands in your pockets walking like when I used to come out the betting shop when I'd done my money. He's going and walking along like that. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. You know, I think Tim will back me up.
Are we reading too much into it? You agree with Merce?
100%. I wouldn't want him around the place. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't want him around the place like that.
No, but you wouldn't want him around the place, but you expect him to come in.
No, I don't. I don't expect him to do cartwheels in there. 100% I don't. But he can't look more miserable than he is. I mean, and in the dressing room, it's going to be even worse. Do you think he's sitting on that bench wanting that team to win? I'll put that out there. Do you think he is? Do you think he genuinely wants Liverpool to win today? He's being man-marked by the press officer going in there, like Gentili on him. He's got his pads on already, Mo. He's got so tight, the press officer, just in case he slips off and talks to someone on the way in. It's a poor look. It really is. It's a circus today. They're going to have one camera just panned on that man.
Do you know what, Si? No, Tim made a good point when we were talking. If you thought Mo was going to come like that, then leave him out, because it is going to be all about Mo Salah. It's not going to be about any of the Liverpool team or Arne Slot. All the cameras are going to be on is Mo Salah. So what did they do when you pick the 11? They expect Mo Salah to come in and be happy and smiling. So Tim made a point. If his body language is... but Merce, if his body language is going to be like that, and he's been like that for the whole week, then leave him out completely. No footballers coming into the ground and thinking, I'm on the bench, are going to be like high-fiving and smiling at everyone.
No, you're not getting it.
I am getting it. I'm getting it.
I understand what Clint said. I understand what Merce said. What you have to try and do, right, this week, all I've listened to is people talking about Mo Salah, right? Yeah. He must be sick of hearing his own name being talked about. Did he bring this on himself? Yes. Yeah. So when he gets off that bus, let's send something out there and go, do you know what? Every single one of you out there have had an opinion on what I've said, right? Let me send a message out going,
this is him right now.
He just smiled. He just smiled.
Do you know what? Good.
Are we not reading too much into this?
No, we can't. But just put a mask on. Let's try and send a message out going, do you know what, you lot out there that have all had opinion? I'm going to show everyone. I'm going to stick my chest out. I'm going to show everyone what I've done at this football club since I've been here, which has been remarkable. But what he said last week was out of order. And now we're all talking about it again. Just try and put on I've said a face and show that, do you know what? I've still done enough. Regardless of what I did wrong. Don't come off like that. I'm with Mercy in what you say. Just hello, smile, pass on, because Tim said it's going to be a circus around him all the time. There's a football match going on. It's not about him.
But there'd be a circus if he was smiling.
Yeah, he would. But do you know what? It's okay because everyone's talking about it.
It will go good. It'll be positive.
It needs to be shut down.
But what I mean is everybody's going to be looking at him whatever today.
Yeah, but when he done his interview, that was in the moment.
Yeah.
It was in the moment. He's frustrated. It's in the moment. This is not in the moment. This is a show up. This is a show. You know, he can choose now how to be. That moment when he done that was bang. I'm fuming. I've said something. Maybe he shouldn't have said it. This is not. He knows the other day he would have been in the team. He'd have had a chat. Then you've got to be going, wait a minute, I've got to come in. I'm going to
show every player that come off that coach. I can guarantee you every player wasn't smiling. Because it's Mo Salah, you're making a big meal out of it.
No one's backed him up more than me.
Come on.
Listen, guys, we'd love to talk about the walk-on shot for another hour, but we can't.
My God.
But my goodness me, it's stirred up a little bit of debate.
You know, Brighton were very open, very expansive the way they play. A lot of space out there on the pitch. He could have brought on Isak and Chiesa and they could have done a similar job, in my opinion. But Mo did a good job. You know, you can't take that away from him. And the best thing at the end there was he's smiling coming off the pitch. We want to see good players playing well and enjoying their football, and that's what he would have done. Certainly in the game today when he's come on for Joe Gomez, I think it was a blessing that he come on for Mo Salah. And a shame for Joe Gomez, but it doesn't look too bad, that injury. Looked like it might have been a head injury and they took him off for a precaution. But it was a real bonus for Mo to come on that early. But the manager could have easily have turned to Isak. He could have easily have turned to Chiesa, but he never. He was brave enough to go to the man who he's in dispute with, and there's obviously a problem between them, or between Mo and someone at the club. He still hasn't told us who that problem is. But the manager's done what he thought was right for the football club, and like I maintain, that's all the manager can do. He can't worry about Mo Salah. He can't worry about any other individuals. He's got to worry about the collective and the club, and that's what he did today, and they got the points.
And because there's been so much focus on Mo Salah over the course of the last 7 days, we're not talking an awful lot about Isak. We're not talking about his problems in terms of fitting into this Liverpool side. He's way off what we saw for Newcastle United. At the moment, they do have a striker doing the business, because Ekitike today, he's at it inside 46 seconds.
Yeah.
His game overall today, how impressed were you?
Yeah, I was impressed. I mean, he's a real threat. He runs in behind. He will come short. He's got a decent enough touch. He's not the silkiest of players. You know, he's a little bit scruffy in his play, but it works for him. You know, he's got the audacity to try things. He's got the player. He knows he works hard. He works tremendously hard out of position as well on what he's asked to do. He looks like he sticks to instruction. He's a real goal threat. That's all you can ask, and he's scoring the goals. So yeah, I mean, he has been a super plus. Obviously Isak hasn't. He hasn't played with any rhythm. I know we keep going back to it, and I'm not sure it's correct to go back to no pre-season, but we've all been players, and without the foundation of a pre-season, you're always playing catch up, and that's certainly how Isak looks at the moment.
Well, let's hear from the goal scorer. 2 of them today, and one of them, the first one, the fastest in the Premier League so far this season. Here is Hugo Ekitike.
Hugo, well done. 2 goals, 3 points. The perfect day for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say perfect, because I know I could score way more today, but obviously the most important was to win in front of our fans, so it's a good day at work, yeah.
Quick start, was that always the plan, to get the early goal?
I mean, the ball came quick. I tried to be ready, but yeah, obviously when you start a game, you don't expect a ball to come at the first minute. But yeah, I try to be always ready, and that's good to start the game with 1-0.
And the second goal, an old-fashioned centre-forward's header from Salah's corner.
Yeah, it gave me a great ball. I just had to be in a good place, and that's what I did, and easy to finish.
You said you should have got more. It might have been a hat-trick, mightn't it, today?
Yeah, I was looking for the hat-trick, but it's going to be another time. But yeah, it's good, 2 goals.
It's been a good week in the end for Liverpool, a club really coming together, a team coming together.
Yeah, I mean, we try to stick together, work together. Even today wasn't easy. At the end of the game, we have to stay compact, stick together, because when we are in that position, it's difficult to get a result. But yeah, happy today, because I think we deserve. We did a great week, and let's continue.
Yeah, next up for them it is Tottenham Hotspur away next Saturday. And by the way, that assist for Ekitike's second goal that came from Mo Salah takes him to 277 Premier League goal involvements for Liverpool. It is the record by any player for a single club. He has now overtaken Wayne Rooney. Tim, in terms of Liverpool overall, we heard from Ekitike there talking about that need for togetherness. Did you see a team together today?
Yeah, I did see a team together. I thought they give up a lot of chances though to Brighton. They just never had the quality. Alisson made 1 very good save in the first half, and I can't remember in the second half him making too many. But there was good opportunities, and they have to tighten it up a little bit. I think most of the attacks from Brighton come down the left-hand side, where Mo Salah's on the right. So, you know, Sloboslai's been playing there, and he gives the protection to Gomez. So they're going to have to try and figure that one out. But it was a perfect. I mean, Brighton come with a perfect formation for Liverpool to exploit. You know, they were very expansive in the way they play. They're wide open, and in transition you could see that Liverpool, every time they turned the ball over, they pretty much had a shot at their goal. But likewise, Brighton were effective going the other way as well. So he needs to find the correct solution. I don't think he's found that yet, but there's 2 very good results in a week, and I think they'll give him a lot of confidence. Yeah, 2 excellent results, and as I mentioned, Tottenham away to come next. Dawes, just bringing you into this as well. I mean, Tim said he wouldn't be surprised either way, and listen, nothing should surprise us in football, but would you be surprised come the end of AFCON and Egypt's involvement in AFCON if we didn't see Salah in a Liverpool shirt again?
No, I wouldn't. And I think I've gone back to last week. There was a motive behind this interview they did. It was calculated. As much as he's been frustrated he hasn't played,
you've got to go and see Arne Slot and have it face to face. But for me, it was a bigger picture, and that is the only reason that it wouldn't surprise me if he wasn't here. As I said, many players have fallen out with managers before, but to wear your dirty laundry and let everyone know, that was my surprise. It really, really was. But I'm delighted for Mo Salah to get back out on there and play. He's been criticised for what he's done all week, and rightly so in my opinion. People might see that differently when he's talked about being thrown under the bus. The team's in a bad situation, but I think when Arne Slot reflects on this week, it'll have been a challenging week for him. Positive against Inter Milan, positive result today, and I'm sure he'll say, Mo, good luck with Egypt, and we'll hope to see you back. But who knows? Only time will tell.
And for now, at least, Clinton, they're 2 points off the Champions League places. They're 7 points behind Arsenal, which is a huge gap at this stage of the season. And I think we might expect Arsenal to do the business against Wolves a little later this evening. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off, that one. But you look at the run that Liverpool have got coming up before that big meeting away against Arsenal. Tottenham, as I mentioned, away next week. Then Wolves at home, Leeds at home, and Fulham away. This is really now a chance to establish some momentum in their season, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not going to have Mo Salah. They need to get a few of the injured lads back. Obviously, Joe Gomez has gone off. There was no Bradley involved today, so that's a problem position at right back. But you're right, they're going to have to go on a little run because they're still challenging to get into that top 4. And I feel if Arne Slot doesn't get Liverpool into the top 4 next season, his job's under threat. I've said it many a times, Liverpool Football Club need to be playing Champions League football next season. But I think the run of games they've got and the back-to-back wins that they have will give confidence through the group. Yeah, they are going to miss Mo Salah because he's away at AFCON. But as I say, other players need to step up to the mark. The likes of Isak need to start producing. I don't worry about Liverpool. Liverpool will finish in that top 4 and hopefully it's a successful season for them.
Mikel Arteta has made it clear that Arsenal will need to unleash their complete player against Bayern Munich. The Gunners host the German champions at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday, and one man in particular could be decisive. Ebereki Eze, described as a very complete player by teammate Mikel Merino, is emerging as one of Arsenal's most dangerous weapons ahead of their Champions League clash with Bayern. The 27-year-old announced himself in North London with a stunning hat-trick in his first derby since arriving in a £67.5 million move from Crystal Palace. His 3 brilliant goals dismantled Tottenham, and truthfully, he could have scored even more. Mourinho believes every one of Arsenal's 8 summer signings has lifted the squad's level, helping the team build a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League. But Wednesday's matchup is different. Bayern Munich, the reigning Bundesliga champions, represent the toughest test yet for Arteta's side. Speaking after the win over Spurs, Mourinho praised Eze's qualities and hinted at the impact he could have in such a high-stakes European battle. We've brought in a lot of players who can make a difference. But you can see that other teams have spent big as well, the Spain international said. Individual brilliance can win matches, sure, but in the end, it's the team that matters. If you have great players who don't connect, that's a problem. The good thing about this group is that everyone thinks about the team first. When asked about Eze specifically, Mourinho didn't hesitate. I think he's incredibly complete. He can dribble, he can pass, and his technical quality is outstanding. In Spain, we always talk about players who can connect with others. He has that naturally. He grew up with that instinct to link play, move the ball, and build relationships on the pitch. He also has the mindset to get involved, demand the ball, and influence the game. At the same time, he's strong, he can take players on, and he can finish. He's a truly complete signing. Mourinho also touched on how the modern game often reduces players to simple numbers. These days everyone judges players by goals and assists, that's just how it is. But as footballers, we see the deeper qualities he brings, the technique, the movement, the intelligence. Even in training, you can tell immediately how special he is. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's much more than that. He's an exceptional player, and we're incredibly lucky to have him. He can play in several positions and adapt to different systems. He's been a huge addition for Arsenal. Beyond the technical qualities, Mourinho believes Eze's attitude, and the healthy competition within the squad, will be crucial in Arsenal's title push. You can hear the calm in Ebereki's voice and see it in the way he carries himself. He's confident, grounded, and every morning we sit together in the sauna at the training ground and talk about everything, he added with a smile. He's a great guy, already fully integrated, and we need players like him. Competition is fierce. There's so much quality in this squad. That's exactly what the manager wanted, as many top players as possible, all ready to play. It makes his decisions tough, choosing who starts and who doesn't, but it also pushes every one of us to give our best in every session. And that's why we're improving as a team. As Arsenal prepare for Bayern's arrival, Arteta is facing one of the most delicate balancing acts of the season. The squad is healthy, competition is fierce, and expectations have never been higher. But behind the scenes, there is a growing sense that Iza's versatility and calm presence may be essential against a Bayern side known for controlling the tempo in big European nights. Arteta himself has hinted at Iza's importance without naming him directly. After the Tottenham victory, the manager spoke about the need for players who can break pressure, dictate rhythm, and stay composed when the game becomes chaotic. Those inside the club believe those comments were aimed at Iza as much as anyone. The coaching staff has been particularly impressed by how quickly he has adapted to Arsenal's positional play structure, a system that demands far more tactical discipline than what he was used to at Crystal Palace. Analysts at the club point to his growing influence not only in the final third, but also in build-up phases, where his ability to glide past pressure could help Arsenal bypass Bayern's aggressive midfield line. There is also an awareness that Bayern's fullbacks tend to push high, leaving spaces between the lines. Iza's skill set, sharp turns, deceptive acceleration, and precise final balls, could be exactly what Arteta needs to exploit those gaps. Outside the club, pundits have already started circling Wednesday's match as a defining moment for the £67.5 million signing. Some believe that if Iza can impose himself on a Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich, it will confirm his arrival among Europe's elite creative players. Former players have echoed that sentiment. Several ex-Arsenal figures, speaking on television over the weekend, highlighted the need for someone who can change the temperature of the match with a moment of calm or an unexpected burst of creativity. Iza, they argued, is one of the few in the squad capable of both. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich come into the match with their own confidence. Their midfield trio has been one of the most dominant in Europe this season, and they have shown a repeated ability to suffocate opponents early. That dynamic is precisely why Arteta may lean on Iza's composure. When the game tightens, Arsenal will need a player capable of slowing it down, protecting the ball, and finding solutions in tight spaces. Within Arsenal's dressing room, Mourinho's praise reflects a broader consensus. Senior players have reportedly been struck by Iza's humility and work ethic, qualities that have helped him integrate seamlessly into a squad that already had strong internal chemistry. Staff members describe him as someone who never forces the game and lets the match come to him, characteristics that could prove invaluable in a high-tension Champions League tie. As kickoff approaches, the narrative surrounding the match has shifted. What began as a test of Arsenal's resilience has quietly become a spotlight on whether Iza can elevate them in Europe the same way he has in the Premier League. For Arteta, the equation is simple. If Arsenal are to overcome Bayern, they will need more than intensity. They will need control. They will need creativity. And increasingly, they will need the completeness Iza brings to every phase of the pitch. Whether he starts in a wide role as a floating midfielder, or even as an interior playmaker, the expectation is the same. Iza will have to find the spaces others cannot, and influence the game in ways that statistics alone will not capture. The stakes are high, the opponent is formidable, and the spotlight is intense. But within the walls of London Coney, the belief is growing that this is exactly the kind of stage Eberechi Iza was signed for. Martin Odegaard is nearing a return to action after suffering a medial collateral ligament injury in Arsenal's 2-0 win over West Ham earlier in October. Yet, 3.5 years after Mikel Arteta named him captain, the Norwegian finds himself in an unfamiliar position. His place in the starting lineup is no longer guaranteed. For the first time since joining the club permanently from Real Madrid in August 2021, there is real debate over whether he remains an automatic choice for Arteta's 11. Odegaard, now 26, has been central to Arsenal's resurgence under Arteta, the conductor who shaped the team's rhythm through some of their most fluid football. But this season, the Gunners have been forced to navigate long stretches without their captain, first due to a shoulder issue that kept him out of 4 matches in September, and then because of the knee collision with West Ham's Crescencio Somerville that sidelined him again. And during his absence, something significant happened. Eberechi Iza stepped into the spotlight. Iza's sensational hat-trick in the North London Derby has complicated the picture. Now thriving in a central role, the England international has given Arsenal a different kind of presence around the edge of the box. A blend of unpredictability, directness, and two-footed confidence that opponents struggle to contain. He may not control games with the same metronomic precision as Odegaard, but he offers a spark, a willingness to take risks at moments when Arsenal need a jolt of creativity. After such a standout performance against Tottenham, it feels almost impossible to imagine Arteta leaving ease out. The manager has always had a soft spot for players riding a wave of confidence, and ease is currently surfing at full height. There was a similar situation back in September, when Mikel Merino was handed a start against Manchester City after scoring 4 times in 2 games for Spain, including a hat-trick against Turkey. Arteta doesn't hesitate to reward form. Ease has carried that form onto the international stage as well, recently scoring a stunning goal for England in a 2-0 win over Serbia in the World Cup qualifiers at Wembley. Though he can play on the left, it has always been clear that Arteta brought him to the Emirates to operate in midfield. And with Declan Rice and Martin Zubamendi near untouchable in the double pivot, the odds of Ease and Odegaard consistently starting together seem slim. That leaves Odegaard in an unfamiliar position. He needs minutes to rebuild sharpness, yet Arsenal's medical team won't rush him. The plan is likely to ease him back through short substitute appearances before restoring him to larger roles. But even once fully fit, Odegaard faces genuine competition, because Ease has shifted the landscape. His arrival has raised the team's ceiling, and his performances have earned him the right to keep his place. Before the dismantling of Tottenham, Ease had scored only twice for Arsenal, one against Port Vale in the Carabao Cup and another versus his former club Crystal Palace, a clever finish that sealed victory. Now, with 5 goals across all competitions, he sits just 1 behind Odegaard's total from last season, when the captain made 45 appearances. Odegaard's 2023-24 numbers were outstanding: 11 goals, 12 assists, influence written across every competition. That is the standard he must match again if he wants to reclaim his spot, because Ease is hungry, confident, and eager to impress ahead of next summer's World Cup. Arteta will insist that Arsenal need both players at their best if they are to meet their ambitions in the months ahead. And with Kai Havertz also working his way back to full fitness, potentially slotting into midfield behind marquee striker Victor Gyökeres, the battle for places has never been fiercer at the Emirates. For Odegaard, the message is clear: he must rise to the challenge. His leadership and quality remain unquestioned, but he can no longer rely on reputation alone. If he embraces the competition and fights his way back into the side, his return could push Arsenal to even greater heights. And if the team has already reached this level without several key figures, the potential for what comes next may be even greater. Inside the club, staff members are quietly acknowledging that Arsenal are entering a new phase, one where no player, not even the captain, is immune to tactical evolution. Arteta has spent the past 2 seasons building a squad capable of sustaining pressure across multiple competitions, and the emergence of Ease is a sign that the manager's long-term planning is beginning to bear fruit. Depth is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. But with depth comes difficult decisions. Arteta has always valued balance in midfield, and the contrasting profiles of Odegaard and Ease force him to reconsider what type of midfield best suits the team's ambitions in Europe and the Premier League. The technical control and spatial awareness that Odegaard brings have defined Arsenal's identity under Arteta. Conversely, Ease's dynamism, physical presence, and unpredictable touches give Arsenal a new dimension, especially against teams that sit deep or defend aggressively in central areas. This internal shift has also caught the attention of analysts and former players. Several pundits have begun to question whether the captaincy should guarantee a place in the lineup, especially at a club with ambitions of challenging for the Champions League. Others argue that Odegaard's leadership is too valuable to sideline, pointing to the standards he sets in training and his influence over younger players. Those debates are already spilling into the media, and they will only intensify as the season progresses. There is also the tactical question of whether Arteta might eventually experiment with a system that accommodates both Ease and Odegaard, something he briefly attempted earlier in the season during the win over West Ham. But with Rice and Zubamendi forming an almost impenetrable midfield pairing, any reshuffle risks destabilizing the defensive structure that has made Arsenal one of the most resilient teams in the league. The manager has hinted that he is open to adjustments, but only if they enhance the team's overall cohesion. For Odegaard himself, the challenge is as much psychological as it is physical. He has worked hard to cultivate an image of calm authority, a leader who raises the level of those around him through clarity and consistency. Now he must show that he can adapt, compete, and respond to adversity. His teammates still speak of him with admiration, describing him as one of the most studious and detail-oriented players at London Coney. They believe that once he regains full rhythm, he will naturally reassert his influence. Yet even they acknowledge that the landscape has shifted. One senior player privately remarked that, "The team is different now. Ease has changed what we can do in the final third." That sentiment reflects not a lack of faith in Odegaard, but an understanding that Arsenal have evolved while he has been sidelined. For Arteta, the ideal scenario is straightforward: a fully fit Odegaard competing with a fully confident ease, creating a level of internal competition that lifts the entire squad. The manager often speaks about the need for healthy tension among his players, pressure that keeps standards high without fracturing unity. The arrival of Victor Gyökeres, combined with the recovery of Havertz, only amplifies that dynamic. Arsenal's season will almost certainly hinge on these midfield decisions. With Champions League knockout matches approaching and the Premier League title race tightening, Arteta must decide not only who starts, but what kind of identity he wants his team to carry into the defining months of the campaign. The next few weeks will reveal whether Odegaard's return sparks a resurgence or a battle for relevance. If he manages to reclaim his place, it could serve as a reminder of why Arteta trusted him with the armband in the first place. If he struggles, it will underline how rapidly Arsenal are progressing, and how little room there is for sentiment at the highest level. Either way, the captain's response will shape not just his future, but the trajectory of a team that believes it is on the brink of something significant.